A very good morning and a warm welcome to all the dignitaries and my dear friends. Today, we all have gathered here on this online platform to celebrate one of our most overwhelming functions of all the time. Yes, my dear friends, on this day, seeds of starting up with an architecture college in rural area were sown, and now those seeds have blossomed into a fruitful tree. Today, we are here to celebrate 25 years of excellence of Pravara Rural College of Architecture, Loni. And on behalf of this special occasion, we have with us some of the most renowned and reputed architects as chief guests with us to add more colors to the program. I here now request architect Rajeshwari Jagtap ma'am to please welcome our guests.
A very good morning to all the dignitaries present here today and to my dear students, friends. Welcome to Lokanete Balasaheb Vikhe Patil Padma Bhushan Awardee, Pravara Rural College of Architecture, Loni. It is our great pleasure to welcome you all on this memorable day to celebrate the foundation day of our institute, which has created a legacy of 25 years in architectural education. Pravara Rural College of Architecture, Loni, established on 2nd September 1996, has created mark in rural education by opening avenues for students to pursue their dreams in architecture. On this occasion, it is our great pleasure to have eminent personalities to join us and bless us in our future endeavors. We are pleased to have Senior Architect, Architect Avinash Navathe, Principal Architect Avinash Navathe Architects, Pune, Dr. Abhijit Nathu, Chairman Board of Studies, Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune, and Principal BKPS College of Architecture, Pune. Architect Vineet Mirikar, Principal, IS College of Architecture, Mumbai, and Architect Preeti Agarwal, Principal Architect, Alayam Designs, Jaipur, as distinguished guests for today's function. We welcome you all to Pravara Rural College of Architecture, Loni, and look forward to your valuable words and guidance. The backbone of any successful institute is the constant supporting, motivating management team. लोकनेते बाळासाहेब विखे पाटील पद्मभूषण awardee Pravara Rural Education Society Pravara Nagar is that educational pioneer which is the force behind the successful completion of 25 years of architectural education. Today, present amongst us to motivate and guide us is our beloved Honorable Sushmita Vikhe Patil, Chief Executive Officer, Pravara Rural Education Society, Pravara Nagar, Mr. Bharat Ghogre Patil, Honorary Secretary, Pravara Rural Education Society, Pravara Nagar, and Dr. KTV Reddy, Director Technical, Pravara Rural Education Society, Pravara Nagar. We welcome you all on this occasion and look forward to your guidance. I would like to welcome all the students who have joined in to witness this proud moment on YouTube channel and Facebook page. I also welcome all the teachers and administrative staff of Pravara Rural College of Architecture, Loni, whose presence here today adds value to the future of the institute. I, Architect Rajeshwari Jagtap, Principal, Pravara Rural College of Architecture, Loni, is highly obliged by your presence on this 25th Foundation Day and inauguration of discussion forum Manthan. Thank you all and hope we all cherish this event in years to come.
So without any further ado, let's start this program with the beautiful Ganesh Vandana by Rutuja Vaksavre from 4th year.
तू सुख करता तू दुख हरता तू सुख करता तू दुख हरता तूच करता आणि करविता तू सुख करता तू दुख हरता मोरया मोरया मंगलमुखी मोरया उजळो जीवन देवा सरुदे माझे मी पण तुझ्या दर्शने उजळो जीवन गरे सानी पनी सारे ग म ग रे ग ग म रे ग म प म प म प म ग रे सा देवा सरुदे माझे मी पण तुझ्या दर्शने उजळो जीवन नित्य करावे तुझेच चिंतन तुझ्या धुळीचे भाळी भूषण सदैव राहो ओठावरती सदैव राहो ओठावरती तुझीच रे गुणगाथा तू सुख करता तू दुःख हरता तू सुख करता तू दुःख हरता तूच करता आणि करविता मोरया मोरया मंगलमूर्ती मोरया 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 मंगलमूर्ती मोरया या मोरया मंगलमूर्ती मोरया
Sweet and wonderful Ganesh Vandana. Before starting with the program, I would like to pay honest and kind tributes to Padma Shri Dr. Vittal Rao Vikhe Patil, who is India's industrialist and founder of Asia's first cooperative sugar factory at Loni, Maharashtra, India. I also pay kind tributes to Loknete Dr. Balasaheb Vikhe Patil, Padma Bhushan awardee and former Union Minister, Maharashtra. Under their blessings, this college has bloomed into a fruitful tree. Our vision is to enable the prosperity by providing an excellent educational environment to the students, which develops them into qualified, competent architects and good human beings, while also inspiring them to play a key role in sustainable rural and urban development. Our mission is to develop the sustainable built and unbuilt environment by imparting architectural education that is appropriate in the rural and urban context. We also have certain goals, and we are on our way to achieve them. We try delivering technological applications in architecture through systematic programming, which favors the balance of nature and present day architectural developments. We also try to utilize locally available economical materials. We even encourage the students to understand the social and cultural needs of rural areas, urban regions, and modern architectural developments. We also encourage to conserve heritage through study tours and site visits. Pravara Rural College of Architecture, Loni, started on a small campus in 1996 with only 4 teachers and 20 students, and now it has bloomed into a college with an expansive, independent campus with 16 teachers and 40 students in 2018-2019. The institute is one of the most prominent architecture colleges in rural area. Upgrading the residential standards of rural residents is one of our mottos. Annual seminars, study tours, workshops, settlement study, and guest lectures impart the students knowledge of latest architectural developments, traditional Indian architecture, as well as the rural architecture. A spacious campus is loaded with modern infrastructure facilities, and we back it up with a barrier free ambience for unrestricted student development. After successfully hosting Zonal National Association of Students of Architecture, that is Zonal NASA, in 2009 and 2012, we also hosted the state level seminar on design in architecture curriculum methods and model of teaching in January 2016. College alumni have made a name for themselves in multinational and national architecture firms as well as in governmental and semi governmental departments. So let's go through the journey of college through a short video.
Pragati Avdi, a fifth year student of PRC Loni. Today I am going to share some of my memories from first year. When I set foot in the college for the first time, it was just mind-boggling experience. As the vibes generated by the courtyards and the space arrangement around it was just fabulous. Our teachers' hard work and dedication kept up spirit high and mild. No doubt we got a lot of read remarks on our sheets, but we never gave up. We managed to pull through with exceptional grades.
Hey everyone, I am Pratiksha. It's been amazing year since I started my journey as an architecture student at PRC. This college being in rural environment, it was quite challenging for me to settle down as my whole life was spent in Pune. Now we have entered in our next phase of second year and sudden feeling of being senior made us more responsible. This year we arranged freshers party for our juniors, which taught us to be independent as well as foster our skills of management.
Hey, this is Saidi Bhaskar. It feels as if though it was just yesterday that I started my journey at PRC. These past 2 years went by like a flash, but everything feels like a new opportunities as we are introduced to a new possibilities every year. Third year was actually the toughest one by far. This was going to be our last year to be a part of NASA. We were now included in the apex body of management of our college. This year might have just been the most interesting and joyful year of all. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Poonam Varman. It has been a wonderful 3 years of my journey towards achieving my dream and being an architect from PRC. We were really excited about our new year and learning a lot of new things that is practical as well as the professional life of an architect. This year marked as the beginning of a new era as we were the highest ranking student body of our college. As this is going to be our last year in college, we really enjoyed a lot of things in college, that is our college days, events, activities, etc.
Fifth year Biatch, the final chapter of our lives. Me and my friends managed to gather a lot of memories that we are going to cherish for the rest of our lives. You know, like we were no longer the teenagers who were pampered by their parents as well as teachers.
Hey everyone, this is Atharva Padwal, and I know this year has been one heck of a journey, but we are seriously going to remember it for the rest of our lives. Thank you.
That was a wonderful journey compilation by all our college students. I here request Architect Rajeshwari Jagtap ma'am to pay tributes to late Padma Shri Dr. Vittal Rao Vikhe Patil and late Loknete Dr. Balasaheb Vikhe Patil.
No venture is successful unless we acknowledge our past and reckon the foundation on which we stand today. Padma Shri Vittalrao Vikhe Patil, founder of first cooperative sugar factory in Asia, is such a legendary visionary whose legacy we carry forward. With a zeal to serve the people, Padma Shri Vittalrao Vikhe Patil recognized the need for high quality education. Through his vision, he established Pravra Public School and Pravra Rural Education Society in the year 1964. It can rightly be said, Padma Shri Vittalrao Vikhe Patil truly was a man who lived ahead of his times. On this 25th Foundation Day, Pravra Rural College of Architecture, Loni, expresses sincere gratitude towards this legendary visionary. Tribute to Padma Bhushan awardee late Balasaheb Vikhe Patil. Like father, like son. Late Balasaheb Vikhe Patil walked the steps laid by his father in nation building. An ardent visionary of his times, he worked hard to flourish Pravra Rural Education Society Nagar into one of the leading educational institutes in India. His vision and mission created an educational institute which boasts of 102 institutes spread across Loni, Sinnar and Ahmednagar. A 2,500 plus strong faculty members nurture over 42,000 students, the next generation of the country from KG to PhD. He represented his constituency in Lok Sabha for 7 times and contributed as Union Minister of State Finance and Union Cabinet Minister Heavy Industries in Government of India. Late Balasaheb Vikhe Patil viewed Pravra to be the leading institute in India, the vision which we are proud to carry. Pravra Rural College of Architecture Loni is his brainchild, established in such an era when architecture and architectural practice was confined only to the elite areas of Mumbai and Delhi. His futuristic thinking about architecture to rural areas where it is ready to flourish and bloom in coming years. It is our great responsibility to carry forward the vision and mission of such a distinguished legend who walked the talk. On this 25th Foundation Day, Pravra Rural College of Architecture, Loni, expresses sincere gratitude towards Padma Bhushan awardee late Balasaheb Vikhe Patil. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for paying the tributes. Today, on behalf of this special occasion, we have with us architect Rajeshwari Jagtap ma'am, who is currently the principal of Pravra Rural College of Architecture, Loni, since 2019. Ma'am is actively involved in leading the institute towards the academic excellence through innovative teaching and learning process. She had contributed towards the academics through her research work and represented Pravra Rural College of Architecture, Loni, at various national and international conferences. Architect Rajeshwari Jagtap ma'am graduated in the year 1999 from Jawaharlal Nehru Engineering College, Aurangabad. She has pursued her master's in architecture in construction management from Bhanuben Nanavati College of Architecture in 2010. Since then, she is actively involved in project management and her expertise lies in handling the projects from inception to completion. She possesses formal skills and expertise in architectural design, interior design, project planning, project management, project coordination, leadership, strategic planning, and resource management. She is certified as Project Management Professional from Project Management Institute, USA, and is associated with ICMQ India Private Limited as an expert faculty for awareness in project management for CREDAI. She is also a member of Board of Studies at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, Raigad. I hereby request Architect Rajeshwari Jagtap ma'am to speak a few words.
A very good morning to you all on this celebration of 25th Foundation Day and inauguration of Discussion Forum Manthan. Today, it is our pleasure to inaugurate this discussion forum, Manthan, which is to be celebrated in this 25th year of our establishment. Manthan, as the name suggests, is churning the sea of unlimited knowledge to gain valuable insights. It came into picture when we thought that the students of architecture, and especially in the areas where we are functioning, it is very important to have such kind of discussions and platforms available to the students, teachers, and the academy and the professionals in the industry. So we came up with an idea with a Manthan of as a discussion forum where we could come up with various discussion topics and various discussion methodology ideas to be generated. So the Manthan, as a word says, is a churning, is an idea generation, is an exchange of ideas and exchange of knowledge and exchange of uh, your information so that you can develop further, the student can develop further in his ventures and in his life. And he goes into some kind of a research mode for some duration of his life. So Manthan is a platform which Pravra Rural Education Society's Pravra Rural College of Architecture, Loni, has created for all the students of architecture. This discussion forum is focused on discussion of topics related with architecture because architecture is the core area where Pravra Rural Education Architecture College functions as. So to discuss architecture, also to discuss history of architecture in its since its inception and since its era where we study history and create our ideas and knowledge base based on our past. Also, this discussion forum focuses on discussion of construction technologies, construction methodologies, construction timelines, various innovations in construction as architecture and building construction are very important factors in building design. So construction is one of the topic which we look forward for discussion on this platform. But it is not only restricted to buildings and construction or history, but the Manthan as a platform will address to various other art forms such as paintings, sculptures, and music, which are an integral part of architectural expressions and architectural design philosophy. So Manthan has a platform even to explore how the students can develop as good artists in their areas of choice if they choose to work as artists. Also, Manthan is a discussion forum which will discuss about rich cultural heritage about India, maybe the dance forms, maybe the food culture, maybe the various defense and artistic nature which the Indian culture has inherent in it. So discussion on these parameters is also very important as a part of an architectural student. And architects also have a good insights into these forms also because most of the students are very good in their artistic expressions. So art, culture and heritage, all these parameters will be discussed in the Manthan forum. Important parameter which is now very developing is sustainability. So we intend to discuss sustainability, saving the earth, saving the water, saving the soil, saving our environment regarding architectural practices. So sustainability, so few of these things which are belonging to these areas will be discussed. Manthan will also discuss certain things regarding management, creating leadership in the architectural fraternity, creating leadership in the projects, creating management of time, cost, quality, and sharing visions and goals of the environment and industry. But it is not only restricted only to these subjects only, but Manthan will also try to discuss more subjects related to other subjects also, like technology, art, crafts, heritage, all these subjects, but also Internet of Things, electrical, BM, building management systems, and so forth. So these are the topics which are not only restricted, but they can be enhanced as per the requirement of the forum. Manthan is an online discussion platform which has been created by Pravra Rural College of Architecture, and it will be conducted on first and third Wednesday of every month between 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. on our YouTube channel. And the greatest part of it is open to all students, academicians, and professionals of all the colleges of architecture in India and also outside India. So this is a very vast platform which Pravra College intends to implement in this 25th year of their foundation. And we hope that we get a enhanced response from all the project participants, from the students, from the academicians, and from the professionals to bring in their ideas, bring in their thoughts, bring in their projects, and discuss with the students, discuss with the faculty, and create a knowledge bank and knowledge areas where we can create good forum for all the people participants and also for the general public to view it. So I thank you all to participate and request you all to participate, and you can contact us on the email ID given on the screen. So Manthan is our brainchild which we intend to take it further in this 25th year. And we are very delighted to have today's speaker, who are the first speakers for our Manthan platform: architect Avinash Nawathe, architect Vineet Mirikar, architect Abhijit Natu, and architect Preeti Agarwal. So you all are setting the benchmark for this Manthan platform, and we are very glad to have you all on this platform for first session of Manthan Discussion Forum. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for introducing Manthan as a new concept for all we students. Now, today, we have with us architect Preeti Agarwal, a senior architect and partner of the firm Alayam, a design unit, since the year 2003. Ma'am strongly believes in enjoying the career undertaken rather than just spending years and years in it without any thrill and excitement. She even prefers to be a multitasking person and enhance oneself beyond the magazine. After all, perspectives of that person towards something defines the way he or she wants to make or develop that particular thing. Preeti ma'am has done her bachelor's in architecture from Jawaharlal Nehru Engineering College, Aurangabad, in the year 1999, thus securing first class. Further, she completed her master's in urban planning from SPA New Delhi with first class. Back in the year 2001, she worked as a freelance designer for a practicing architect at Nandakarni Mahajan and Associates in Aurangabad. She was also a faculty in Tender Care Home at Aurangabad. Furthermore, she worked as an associate planning consultant in Infrastructure Professionals Enterprise Private Limited at New Delhi, where her consultancy involved advising a panel of clients in issues regarding municipal governance and municipal capacity building. In the year 2002, Ma'am worked as a planning consultant to the International City Managers Association, USA. She worked hard for the project of helping the state of Rajasthan form City Managers Association to create awareness for implementation of Citizens Charter to enhance quality of urban life through responsible, transparent, and accountable governance. Back in the year 2003, she served as an assistant professor in Ayojan School of Architecture, Sitapura, Jaipur. From the year 2014, she guided the students of architecture by being a professor in School of Planning and Architecture, Purnima University, Jaipur. And later in 2018, she worked as a dean in School of Planning and Architecture, Purnima University, Jaipur. From 2019 December till now, ma'am has been a visiting faculty at SPA, Purnima University, Jaipur. She has also been a member of Board of Studies of the Department of Architecture, Mahatma Gandhi Mission University, Aurangabad. Moreover, ma'am is also the design head of Spriha, a furniture workshop since the year 2003, where she makes everyone aware about the modernized furniture techniques. Apart from all these things, ma'am even loves reading books and articles, writing effective contents, debating, and organizing events. And she even loves dancing, especially Bharatnatyam and Odissi. For the overall development of students, she had organized many events like personality contests, youth festivals, and quizzes during college fests at the undergraduate level. Really, I would say, your work and dedication towards the society and the betterment of students and teachers in various teaching and learning techniques is uncountable and noteworthy as well. I hereby request Architect Preeti Agarwal ma'am to please share her work experience with us and guide us in her magical way.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, August audience and students. Let me start by congratulating your respected institution on this landmark year and wishing you many more milestones and successes. Your journey has been a very commendable one till now, and I'm sure you'll go much further on. I also take this opportunity to thank Dr. Reddy, Mr. Ghogare, Mrs. Vikhe Patil, and my dear friend, architect Rajeshwari Jatta, for giving me this platform to address you all. It is indeed an immense honor. I extend my regards to my eminent co speakers and guests. Even when Rajeshwari called me to with this idea on creating a conversation series Manthan for the students and said that I was to be one of the first, my thought was on what should I talk about. The mind blanked out for a moment before the thought process ignited. That one moment when all of us blank out before an idea emerges seemed to be the best thing to speak about. It really doesn't matter whether you're a student, a teacher, or a professional. We all face that one moment of utter confusion when a project or an idea or a need is proposed to us. It looked like the perfect place for me to start. And so I have titled my presentation Demystifying Architecture. It is actually a tale of my experience. I would like to talk to you all about how I have understood architecture, how I have taught architectural processes, and how I have practiced it. So, what is it about architecture that both confounds us and makes us capable? We as architects seem to find a balance between confusion and capability. What happens when a project is proposed? What is our first reaction? It really doesn't matter whether we are in the field as a professional or a student. We are yet confused. So I'd like to start from the very beginning. What is architecture? For me, despite all the multitude of readings, references, so many architects talking about architecture, writer quotes, I find being an architect, the simplest definition comes from this Oxford Dictionary meaning the process of designing buildings and some non building structures which encompass the knowledge of art, science, technology, and humanity. Yes, as architects, we are answerable to providing a logical reason and meaning using art, science, and technology towards building a better society. So, what is the essence that defines us or identifies us as being an architect? And for me, it is logical reasoning. You might choose to differ, but I would like to present my case on why I say logical reasoning. So just does this having this clarity about architecture, knowing that it's a process of designing, using the knowledge of art, science, and technology for humanity, and to be logically reasonable, help us enunciate a process for our working? I think it does. We also need to understand, for me, architecture, and for a lot of other people, and for you too, you have to realize that architecture also is the combination or the holy triumvirate of the people, the place, and the time. Architecture is the one thing that brings all these three together. So, what do you, having known that this is a triumvirate that dictates us, having known that we need to have the knowledge of art and science, backing us up? Having understood that we need to be logically reasonable, does it make us more aware of how to deal with architecture? As a student, I've always found it really, really difficult, especially when someone said, let's make a concept. So, what do you do when you're confused? I have realized that when we are confused, the best way is to organize our thought process. As children, if you realized, the first thing that you always did as a child when you were curious was to ask questions. You asked what, and then you asked why. So when I am confused, I realize that the best way to put my thoughts together is through this arsenal, the five W's and the H. I find the question words the perfect place to start logical reasoning. The question words are what? Where, when, why, who, what, how. But for me, the order that suits us is what, who, where, when, why, and how. In the Devanagari script, I put it as the six Ks, that is, kya, kaun, kahan, kab, kyun, or kaise. Let me enunciate. Let me just put this together to you. It is difficult, right? Sometimes the simplest thing looks a little difficult. So, how do I do it? What is when a project is thrown to us? How do I process? What is the project about? Isn't that the first question that should come to our mind? What is the building? What does it mean to us? What does this not just a building project, something as simple as a basic design project, or something as simple as a history exercise for students, or something as simple as a residence in our first starting years of architecture, or for that matter, in our ending years of architecture. What is the building? We need to understand what the building is, what building typology it is, what is the need for that building, what are its requirements, what are the basic areas and the spaces that it needs. What are the other examples that I can study which make me understand what the project is all about? But is a what possible without the who? Like I said, architecture is about people, right? So the who is most important. Whom are we building for? Who is the client? Who is the user? Who are the number of people who are going to be using it? Who benefits from the project? After all, we are designing for the society. Who will be impacted by our project? I can keep discussing each of these points individually, but I'd like to just give you an overall purview of this and then wrap this up for you a little later. Who benefits? Who else has made such a project or used such a project or has benefited such by such a project or has been impacted by such a project? Let me take a small example. When you do something like a waterside development or a lakeside development in a city, and it's a new project that comes to you, isn't the first thing that you do is study who's going to be impacted by the project? And aren't you going to be looking at where else has this project been done and what else have people achieved by it? After the what and the who, the automatic question that arises is when. Time, I find, is very important. It dictates how a project needs to be done. There are two ways of looking at time. When is the project being built? It's a project for today. If it is a project for today, does it exist in a place where time has been very important? I come from a place, I'm from Jaipur. Jaipur is very historically bound. So much so, a large part of India is very historically bound. But when there is there's lots of traditional history, when you're building in a place like this, are you impacted by that timeline when you are proposing a project of your own? What other period will impact your project? Or do you want to consider that future as your timeline which impacts your project? So that's where the when occurs. Then we look at where is this project going to be built? What is the site? Which is the place? What does the place have to offer to your project? And not just any building. Again, let me go back. Let me enunciate. When I talk about this, please try and refer it back to any of the projects that you've built or any of the projects that you've designed in academics, or any of the projects that you maybe dream about building later on. So, what does this place have to offer to your project? How does it impact your project? Like I said, I come from Jaipur. The place is, it defines both the time and the value of where I'm going to put a new project on, right? So that's the first four W's: the what, the who, the when, and the where. And these help towards building our knowledge base. These help towards building our pre designed data. And these help towards building our implementation. And towards the next two questions, the why and the how. Now, the why and the how. If you remember when you were a child, when someone told you, don't do this, the first question that you asked was, why? Why is it that we forget to do that as we grow up and become adults? So, let's go back to the importance of why. And why is one of the most important questions when it comes to logical reasoning. Because every time you ask, why does this need to be done? Why do I want to make this project? Why do I want to approach this project in this particular manner? Why have I been asked to make this project? Why will I do something? What is the kind of choice I will take? And why will this choice impact my project? Be it materials, be it the choice of our requirement list, be it our area statement, be it whom this project is going to affect. Because every why that we answer leads to the how we are going to achieve that process. You must realize that the why and the how lead to and fro between the two. Every time you answer a why, you get the how of the project. And every time you choose the how, you have to be very clear about the why. This is a very short a presentation to make to you on on how I have put this process together. But I do really hope that I'm able to convey to you what I mean by it. My entire thought process bases on the idea of organizing yourself, organizing your thought process using the question words as your referral ideas towards building your project. But then, isn't it obvious that though I have presented a linear fashion of the five W's and the H, you have to realize that integratedly these are a set of cyclical questions. For every time that you ask, what is a project? It gets associated to the who, the where, the when, the why, and the how. Or each time you pick up these set of questions for any level of analysis, be it a case study, be it a user analysis, be it area analysis, be it space analysis, be it building a circulation or a bubble diagram, be it concept development, or be it project management, whichever level that you talk about, these six questions help you develop a very clear cut idea on how to approach your project. And does this only talk for architectural design? Is this process only for architectural design? No, I think not. This these set of questions can be used anywhere in architecture, be it building construction, history, research, any other subject matter, or for that matter, in life itself. Even as you students go on to be professionals, even as we as professionals, when we sit down to a project, we have to realize that every project is unique. Every time a project is proposed to us, be it as simple as a residential project, every project is unique. And these six questions help us arrive at a logical idea behind the behind how we want to propose our design solution. It is famously said by Frank Lloyd Wright that doctors can bury their mistakes, architects can only put a potted plant in front of it. Yes, we have to live with everything that we put up on this Mother Earth. We are answerable for every piece of brick, stone, or for that matter, a line or dot that we draw on our paper. We have to be very clear about the why we are doing, what we are doing, for whom we are making it, the where we are doing it, the when we are doing it, and the how we are going to achieve it. So at the end of the day, for me, life has always been about using these six basic question words to help me achieve my architectural design process, or for that matter, everything else in life. It is said that if you've built castles in air, your work need not be lost. You don't have to not think or imagine architecture. Who says you can't dream? Henry David Thoreau very aptly put it. He said, when your castles are built in air, that is where they should be now put foundations under. So if you have a logical reason, if you are very, very clear about your why, if you know why you're doing what you're doing, if you have an organized thought process, there's nothing that can stop you from being a very, very successful architect. And for that matter, a very successful person in life. I hope my quick presentation has given you an idea into doing just that. Thank you all for your patient hearing. Thank you so much, and I really hope I've made sense.
Thank you so much, Preeti ma'am, for your enlightening words. Now, we have with us architect Vineet Mirikar sir, who has graduated from Academy of Architecture in the year 1996. His main motto in his life was to do something for the society and also believed in serving to the society, and hence he brought his thoughts into implementation and thus started with formal teaching in the year 2005 after completing PhD in environmental architecture from Rachna Sansad. Sir had a broad vision to mold and develop the academic front and the teaching techniques in the field of architecture, which made him to prepare himself for the master's program in general architecture and completed with the same, securing first class distinction in the year 2009. Currently, Sir is pursuing PhD in architecture at Delhi. Vinith Sir is renowned architect of MS Square Art, which is working for various architectural and interior projects for last 23 years span India. It is said that knowledge gets doubled when it is shared effectively. And Sir, strongly believing in sharing his professional experience over 20 years and integrating those in teaching, he even taught various subjects like architectural design, building construction, specifications, working drawing details, and design dissertation. Sir not only teach such beautiful subjects to all the students, but also encourages them to envisage the architectural education in holistic manner and understand the relevance of each subject in context with the others. Vinit Sir is currently the principal of IES College of Architecture, Bandra, Mumbai, where he leads the institution from the front. Not being stranded and restricted to education only, he has also been associated with various students' welfare activities such as NASA, sports, and Avartan, which is the college fest for more than a decade. Moreover, Sir has also been a program coordinator for 6 years of MArch in environmental architecture conducted under YCMOU and guided several students' dissertations in various current environmental issues. This clearly depicts that working with patience is the key to success. Architect Vineet Mirikar sir has served on various institutions as a member of Board of Studies at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, member of the Faculty of Architecture at Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. Architect Vineet Mirikar sir has worked with University of Mumbai and Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune, as jury member for various examinations. As a regional editor of Journal of Indian Institute of Architects, he contributed towards architectural journalism and documentation. He is currently the member of Board of Examination of Indian Institute of Architects. Really, sir, your relentless achievements and works for the betterment of educational society are truly appreciating. I now request architect Vineet Mirikar sir to please share his experiences with his words.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Uh, Sorry, I guess this is what happens many times on this. I've checked earlier. My technical features is always there. Yeah. So to have this Manthan going on and the kind of various people have said about, and it is important for to have that uh, churning of your ideas going on, and the way the architecture education requires that Manthan, or for that matter, the fraternity, architecture fraternity also will benefit out of this discussion, is what should be the aim. With that, we always have been talking about architecture processes and stuff like that. But over the time, what we have seen is, as a profession, we have been kind of marginalized. It has not been reached to the masses up till now. Our recognition as a professional body, as an architect, is also not being reached to the masses. Like doctors, like lawyers, for that matter, everybody from the masses knows them, what they do, what are the importance of them to them and for the society and all. But many times it is not been seen that how architects work. So what I my the title of this presentation is after graduation in architecture, unexplored paths. We have been known at all points of time when you take into architecture, what will be the kind of future of us. Uh, but at the same time, when you guys graduate from here, what the first thing which I believe is what we have to do is it starts actually your lifelong learning starts from your own. Because the graduation in architecture is just one step you've taken towards learning of architecture. So and it is applies for all the education. But more or less, this is being an applied field. I guess it's important, and it actually starts from here onwards. How you start learning yourself, uh, start collaborating yourself with various things. How observant and how adaptive you are from here onwards, which will make you a successful professional, successful person, and a good human being. Uh, after uh, after graduation, you normally have dreams for your futures because you have aspired to become an architect, and from there onwards, you have your own dreams. Uh, you have a passion to create because you being in creative field for so many years, 5 years of architecture, you have given uh, to understand these processes to create whatever you believe, what you ideate from your onwards. Uh, as my introduction given, and I believe that I entered architecture because I believe that this is a course where I will be able to serve the society, uh, serve their needs, and build a society for them. So there are people who urge to serve in various manners. The last but important point also is people will go back and see. Uh, I have invested my money and time into this course. Uh, so how I'm going to be recovering that? That is also a question which is for all the people who become graduate from here. Uh, your dreams, depending upon how your 5 years of architecture is passed, uh, you start creating your own narration of your own dreams. To become a successful architect with a name and a fame, because that is always the first priority. Because by this, by this vision, by this dream, you have entered the architecture. That I want to become a successful, famous architect, which is going to be creating a monumental structures in the society, in the nation, where I be recognized to contribute towards these creations, and so on and so forth. Uh, there are another set of people who has over the time they have created their own dream to find a suitable job in a reputed firm. Like I want to work with Zaha Hadid, I want to work with Hafiz Contractor, I want to work with any of the top-notch architects in India or for globe. I want to work with Pritzker Prize winners. I want to work with the high-rise buildings in Dubai, whatever. So whatever the thing is, but I want to contribute to this development by being a part of the whole firm and creating that insert for myself. Uh, to- there are lots of people who come as second generation architects where their parent firms are been there, but at the same time they want to take it and make it better and enhance it and take it to another level, so that the whole firm gets the kind of bigger name, bigger success, and that is how people have joined an architecture. Of course, there are people who are of uh, uh, kind of nature where they want to explore more in terms of their education. So go for master's program, probably a PhD from there onwards also. Continue academics as such. There are various ways the people pursue their dreams, uh, and pursue other passions than architecture. Because many times it happens that after 5 years architecture, also you start feeling that there is lots I have learned, which is there is another passion of me, which is more or less supportive to because of this learning in architecture, and I can actually explore better. I have seen people have become set designers, people have become musicians, successful ones, not the small time people, and they find that that is a passion which is now has come to realization because of learning of architecture, and that is how people go about it. Uh, uh, Passion to create, taking the positions after your 5 years of learning. The type of architecture you want to do uh, depend on the kind of typology as such, which ma'am has said that you want to do a residential as the vision and the kind of mission of the Pravaranagar College is that they want to enhance the housing kind of sector from the rural in the rural background. That is how people want to actually create something. People want to create institutional architecture. They believe that institutional architecture is where my passion is, and I can create a better outcomes for the institutional form world. There are various other hospitality architecture where I want to get into. Uh, Also depends upon the kind of scale which you wanted to get into. Some people write from interior design as a small space, making exercise, interior space making, to the largest planning exercise, as Preeti ma'am has also been in a policy making exercise. So I have a very diverse plethora where I want to place myself. And so, depending on what my standpoint, which has become after 5 years of architecture, I choose to take that kind of stand to create from here on. There are urge to serve to the clients, because you feel there are some people who feel that my clients is supreme because they give me an opportunity to create. So I actually have to serve their needs to the fullest. There are architects who are completely bound by these kind of people, that I have to be completely 100% in sync with my clients' needs, what are the demands, and everything else. Um, to your master architect, I want to serve Zaha Hadid. I want to serve to V.V. Doshi sir, and so on and so forth. So I actually have admired the style of architecture, the way they have come up to. And I actually want to contribute towards that. I want to become like Nari Gandhi. I want to become like Laurie Baker, and I want to explore those possibilities. So that is how I want to serve the society in that manner. Uh, Various projects which I take for a society in terms of any institutional projects, any school projects, college projects. That is how I want to serve something. I want to create some shelters for needy. I want to create something for homeless people. I want to create something for middle class with uh, low income housing, affordable housing, and all those kind of things by serving the society. Of course, serving my family for that matter, because I have taken out the 5 years from my family because architecture has almost become and the profession where the learning profession where you are almost disconnected because of various other reasons, as you go to study tool, you slog day and night to perform your term work, so everything. So sometimes it is also from here onwards I have to serve my family as a primary uh, red earner, and that is how I want to serve. In turns, eventually you serve your nation. Return of investment, money and time. Uh, Architecture is one of the most expensive course, which has a good amount of fees which you have to pay. You have to pay for lots of site visits, study tours. That is also incurring the money. Lots of stationery which you have to invest in because it is about your creation. You have to produce, showing that creation to your mentors, to the society, and everybody else. Lots of printing costs because of nowadays the computers are in vogue. Everybody has started working on a computer, so the printing becomes a cost. So overall, the expense which you incur is more than at least 10 lakhs plus. That's what you try to do. Apart from that, there's a time. Only undergrad course with a 5 years of duration, which you know that. Normally within that, you have other people do their masters and then come out from that. But we are only dealing with the undergraduate. So, from here onwards, you have to understand what is our strength. As already Preeti ma'am has explained through a definition what architecture comprises of. Uh, it is a most comprehensive learning professional course which I always believe. Uh, it's why because it comprehends all the basic faculties of learning, uh, which is design, technology, humanity, and art. There is no course as such which actually comprehends all four aspects very correctly, because either you go to engineering, you are more predominantly in technology. You take a design field, only to do a design in that. Art and humanity also has very verticals which are being, but we are the only people who amalgamate all these faculties together, learn this faculty to its detail, and then extract our creation out of this. So in design, we learn from the micro level to the macro level, where the, the smallest part of product design, where you are trying to do a luminaire design, to an architect who was he specialized in luminaire design, somebody who was furniture designing, somebody at the macro level. People are come to a planning level where people are creating a policy level interventions. They are creating those where the large communities are going to be benefited out of that. Technology, we deal with building sciences, structural analysis, which is there. We have a services in place. We have quantity surveying. We do estimation costing. We have finances. Uh, Under humanities, social science, cultural heritage, economics, history of civilization, administration, all these kind of things which you normally learn under art, graphics, sketching, painting, all those, and their essence and application both we have been going through in we go through in 5 years. doing that comprehensive understanding of all these fields, but eventually, unfortunately, we are trying to boil down to very narrow window of pure architecture design. What I feel is because of which over the time we have been losing the control over the profession for competency, because earlier we used to be called as the captain of the ship, where we were the kind of driving factor, controlling factor of the whole activity of a project. It's an architectural, other small infrastructure project where architects used to design, conceptualize, design, and execute at the same time. uh, because of which we are losing the other scope which we have learned through. Like we have technology, we have humanities, we have art, but many times we have been losing that scope from our domain. I know the specializations is coming up, but there is something which is required as a one window solution, which architect used to give earlier, but now slightly it is getting diversified, and because of which our core competence is getting marginalized. Uh, because of it, there's a void which is getting created, and the newer professionals are filling that void. The PMC, the project management consultancy, is a new one window professional which has come into picture for last 10, 15 years, and which has taken up our place from the industry, and they are serving, uh, which is actually was our place somehow. Uh, because of which, again, because we getting marginalized, we are the reach to the general mass is getting weakened. Uh, I know there are certain high profile projects which because of which the people get to know, but still it doesn't reach an idea of architecture profession to the masses. What is what is the ground reality? And that is why that is how what is happening is the engineers who has very small understanding of a design, architecture design. There's only one semester which they deal with the design of kind of building plans, but eventually they work as an architect. We and we will able as an architects act, we are not able to kind of control that practice because our only titles are being protected. Uh, so the amendment is due, but we don't know what has to be done from there. But I always felt that there has to be a new ways of what architecture has to offer, and there has to be a diversified approach. Um, you normally, when you graduate, you normally go for a further education. You either do take up a job or you try to become an entrepreneur by setting up your office. But if you want to do it in different way, this that is what I wanted to protect. That in education also, why not only go to architecture and its specific specializations. I'm not saying you don't have to. If you are completely passionate, if you are completely attuned to that, you should go about it. But many times I have seen by the students' approach that it's a peer pressure which has been boggling down. I have always felt that 5 years of architecture has allowed me to explore my strengths, which normally happens to every individual. If you're spending your 5 years of time in one of the education platform, you try to realize and subconsciously you start understanding what are my strengths, what are my likes, my dislikes. Though architecture predominantly it was your chosen field earlier, but within that also you start understanding. I am a very technologist. I want to see the different technology which is explored by now and which is dictating the new architecture. Somebody looks from the very environmental perspective. That is why I want to that perspective. Somebody is a very humanitarian statistical approach where the people, the community becomes a forefront, and that is why somebody. So on those things, if somebody wants to explore and take the education, I guess it is welcome. But otherwise, there are people who are cannot decide. So I always believe that there are other avenues we should be looking at it. I have never seen any. There are many other people. I have seen the lawmakers after the doing LLB or LLM, people have gone to MBA. I have seen engineers mostly after engineering, core competency of engineering, they go to MBA because eventually I want to make sure that I have my correct correct future because I understand that I'm a very good administrator. I know I understand that I can manage the things very well. So I'm an architect by base. So you being versatile to all these various faculties of design, technology, art, and humanities, you are better off managing everything. But we have not explored that path of MD up till now. So I don't know why, but I always urge. I normally try to have my discussions with my students nowadays to explore these possible ways of looking at it. People, we there are people who understand that okay, I have a very humanitarian approach. I can go and explore the masters in the social sciences because in that case also you can become a policymaker. There are people who have started doing that. But I guess people have to start thinking, understand uh, maybe down the line when they're in third year, what are my strengths, where I want to go further, according to which I will start exploring my horizons from through architecture. I'm not saying architecture can become a medium to diversify in various manners. It's not should not be only restrictive towards creating a very narrow window towards only architecture. Architecture is very diverse by nature. Uh, some people who are pure technology people can take any technology course and actually go into go and learn all these kind of things because they believe that they can contribute better. Their understanding is better. So that is also very important thing for us to go into administrative fields. Nobody up till now has an environmental. I have never seen people who want to give UPSC and MPSC exams. Very few. I have heard of very few, one or two people who actually shows the urge of applying for this kind of administrative exam. I guess that is what that is how there are various dreams. Your urge to serve can be fulfilled. It's not that you only have to do architecture through after architecture. There are various things which actually can create a very good base because you have learned your architecture and actually create a very good understanding of these concepts. New NEP is talking about similar kind of thing where there is no verticals of now what we have is engineering, arts, commerce, and things. I guess we should be more integrated, and whatever is required and whatever is useful for the society and the people is to be coming out from here. When you take a job, there are various firms which is available. Many times I have seen the people come and say that, and we are producing a lot many architects in each year because we have so many colleges. So what happens that uh, there are very they're not all the architecture firms may not be able to absorb at a to all of you to a certain level of certain positions in that offices to actually give you a remuneration which is going to be concerned to your return of investment. But if you start because you have qualified architects, other PMC firms who's already taking care of your jobs. If you start going there, I guess you will able to fill up that, and I guess you will able to enhance yourself within that domain also. Uh, Government sectors, I have heard there are many people, alumni who have gone into government sectors, but very few who opt for it. Uh, so people can start looking from that angle also. uh, Again, the the social sciences. There are lots of NGOs who work who require architectural people, the background people, to actually create and serve the society. So we can always look from that. Pure technological job also, which are there in infrastructure or otherwise, which can be done by an architect. So why can't we explore those possibilities? Because there are certain people who are good at it but we don't still explore those possible avenues for job. Again, administrative. If you become a, if you give your exams of UPSC, MPSC, and other competitive exams, you may able to come to the administrative duties also, because some people are good at it. Uh, Environmental, again, because it's the same thing which is related, how you take your education further and then you come back to this kind of profession. Research, which is also a very important domain which we have been missing out. The applied research, the people, there are lots of opportunities. Rather, we have to create an opportunity to create a job opportunity in the research. There are various engineering sectors, other sectors which have been working on a research and which is getting paid and getting acclaimed also because of their research inputs. So why can't we look at that as our another avenue to looking into that? Infrastructure also, uh, entrepreneurship also is always that we look from the perspective and architectural firm. But I always felt that is definitely is there. And everybody should be aiming for that if you are good at it. But if you're not, then what? There are lots of startups which we should be looking at it. There are various aspects. Now there is building technology which on which you can. There are various people who are on environmental friendly materials. People have started growing some startup firms. There are the technological based startup firms which has been there. So there are ways people are, and then there are government initiatives to support you, give fundings, give support. I guess colleges also should start doing these kind of supports to the young entrepreneurs doing these startups, because these are the kind of people who can create a newer avenues which will benefit the nation at last. Uh, I have always believed that many times we have been cribbing as an architect that I have so much of a good design, but my contractors, my developer, or my project proponent has not able to create as what I require. My finishing, my specification has not been met with. Many times, why again can't we become a turnkey enterprises to create a turnkey job where design and build is possible? There are many contractors who appoint because they take up a jobs as a design and build uh, projects, and they appoint an architects under that. But why can't we do and reverse that same thing when you are trying to do the turnkey enterprises where you lead from the inception to the execution, where the quality, ideation, finish, and the requirements of the client has been fulfilled to its best. And on a similar manner, you can also become a developer of a small kind. There are various there is various facility which has been there for young entrepreneurs. There you can register yourself under SMEs, and now you can get lots of financial aids because of which you can actually get into this developing business. Also, I'm not saying every time like you have your contacts uh, and otherwise by which you can actually develop yourself into that collaborative LLPs, because there are lots of things your friends are in in your other engineering aspects. Some is mechanical, some is electrical, and then collaboratively you can create a firm which can serve this, which is what is required nowadays. That if you have a one window situation for the client, that is what is expected. So instead of creating only a singular firm, can we create a collaborative firm? And that is what I believe is the future. Uh, because of it, what I always believe is what will change if you start doing this diversified approach to architecture. I'm not saying you have to diversify compulsory, but the things, understanding your strengths in that 5 years, and from there building on that strengths, taking up architecture as a base, how you can go, and what will change because of that is the perception toward architecture. Because many times now we have seen that there are many people who have restraining themselves to get into architectural education, because they feel the opportunity after architecture is getting narrower, because eventually education is a medium for your livelihood. People come and take education because they see their settled future because of this education. But sometimes they see that, okay, if I'm going to become an architect today, an architect getting paid at 15,000 per month after 5 years of education by the kind of investment you do and the time you spend. So people have started, but if you start getting that there are various ways because of which the people are getting placed, people are getting success, I guess the input is gonna change. Your investment return of investment will be faster and quicker for you because you're diversifying and still you connected to architecture. You respect your architecture base, and that is why you talk about it in various fields wherever you go, and that is why the spread of not spread of architecture also will start becoming very effective in this, because the moment you spread, there are nobody in the administrative field who can take care of or take side of architecture. That is why you must have seen that earlier in the in the tenders of design tenders, there used to be a term called architect used to be specified. Nowadays, you will find there are consultants which have been placed taken care. So they are saying that apart from architects, somebody else can be also done, because there is no representation in those fields where architecture is there, and that is why we are getting slightly marginalized. But because if you start getting diversified, I guess you will able to spread yourself as an architecture to the masses. Better placement, because there are like when you go to MBA, there are various different companies comes over here. In engineering, also there are various other companies which is not completely related to architect to their core competency. They take that because they understand these people know there is a methodology is robust. They have understanding of various other subjects also which they see the curriculum. That is how they actually pick up the thing. That is how the future is. Google is not looking for the very very formalized approach, but the kind of understanding and takeaways which you are able to do through your formal education platform. So the moment you start seeing these horizons, the more people will come. Maybe the placements are better and diversified, because of which the architecture will attract more and better people, because many times the people are though they have inclination towards architecture, they still choose to be to chooses the engineering maybe or other allied fields against the architecture. So if you have to grow as an architecture, I guess unless and you create an output, better output, then only your input will start becoming better and bigger. Uh, and overall acceptance to architectural profession for the masses. So by this, I guess I want to summarize this thing that uh, I guess architecture gives us opportunity to see the things differently. So let us see the things differently after graduation of architecture. Don't lose your passion in architecture, but using the understanding and the learnings from architecture, you can serve it differently, betterly in various opportunities which may be provided. And for that, I always say that this the 4D, which is very important, that for your success in your life is you have to be different than other people. You try to be unique in whatever way you do. You take anything, but you have to be different. You have to be diverse. That it is not that you only take up one, but you are able to diversify yourself within that core. Uh, you have to be very decisive in your approach, and lastly, you have to be very dedicated whatever you want to do. So with this, I will end my presentation, and again I will thank you and apologize for some technical glitches which happened in the start. Thank you, Rajeshwari and Prava Rural College of Architecture, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vineet sir, for guiding us with your impactful words. Now I would like to introduce architect Abhijit Nathu sir, who is currently an associate professor and principal in charge at BKPS College of Architecture, Pune. He is also a chairman of the Board of Studies in the field of architecture, a member of Faculty of Science and Technology, and a member of Academic Council of Savitribai Phule Pune University. Moreover, he is a member of doctoral committees at SPA New Delhi JNFAU Hyderabad, and the Manipal University. Dr. Abhijit Nathu sir completed his bachelor's in architecture from BKPS College of Architecture, Pune in the year 1992. Later, he completed his master's in landscape architecture from SPA, New Delhi in the year 1994. Sir has also done PhD in exploring the association between physical characteristics and use of formal community open spaces in urban residential developments from JNTU, Hyderabad. He has a good teaching experience at BKPS College of Architecture since 1998. Sir, in a true sense, has scaled the heights of his achievements all the way through the roofs. Looking at his work, he has also been awarded by the Best Teacher Award in 2011 by the Pune University. Sir is also a recipient of Gates Scholarship in Masters in Landscape Architecture and QIP Scholarship for his PhD. Astha Kunj, one of his landscape designs, proved to be a great breakthrough for his career. This design got selected for the national level design competition and was awarded with third prize in a joint entry with architect Varsha, Ravi Gavandi sir, and architect Kalpana Hada back in the year 2002. One of the most inspiring, encouraging, and proud feeling thing about Sir is that more than 30 of his research papers have been published in various national as well as international journals. He even presented his research at various national and international conferences, which I think is an energy boosting catalyst for we all students. As the saying goes, one is not known to anyone unless change, challenge, and dare is not accepted. So, even organized a teachers training program for the betterment in teaching techniques in the field of architecture. So, I would surely say that your words and your works are truly going to have a positive impact on the minds of we all students. I hereby request Architect Abhijit Nathu sir to please speak a few words.
Yeah. Thank you, Anuj, for the kind introduction. Am I? Shall I share the screen now? Shall I? Hello, hello, Anuj. So, at the outset, I thank Pravra Rural College of Architecture for inviting me to give a lecture in the Manthan, which is a very good endeavor wherein you are bringing academicians, architects who, who are going to share their expertise and experience, which is going to definitely benefit students. I first congratulate the college for its 25 glorious years since inception, and I wish a very bright future for the college. I take this opportunity to thank Professor Rajeshwari Jagtap Madam for giving me this opportunity to share my presentation here today. I am going to talk on the topic Hindustani classical music, Bandish, and landscape. The earlier two presentations spoke about the process of design and also the practice of architecture and the future of architecture. My presentation is going to be slightly different. I was wondering, what topic I should be talking upon, but then I felt that architecture being a very interdisciplinary kind of field, why not try to link landscape and Hindustani classical music and Bandish and present my views upon this. I had written a paper based upon a similar topic in a conference at Calicut. I'm going to use some references from there as well. So, moving ahead with my presentation, we have a very strong association of landscapes and culture. You can see the ghats at Menavli and Vai. You can see the desert and the desert life in Rajasthan, the worshipping of a banyan and people trees in various communities in India. and of course the Ganesh festival and its immersion in the sea or the river. So our culture is very, very closely associated with the landscapes, historic landscapes. Now, landscapes, including the man made ones, are subjected to the forces of nature. They get altered over a period of time. And so, to study the landscapes in past, the cultural associations, one has to depend upon the archival data or other sources which one find in literature, music, painting. You can see on the right hand side is a fresco from Ajanta caves where the life and landscape in a settlement during the Buddhist period probably is depicted. Because landscapes, unlike architecture, get affected by the forces of nature. They grow, they evolve, they decay, and finally die. So, how does one understand how the traditional and the historic landscapes were, and our rich legacy of music, poetry, paintings? They all provide us with the they all provide us with the references for studying these landscapes. Intangible heritage traditions are living, like as the UNESCO, the it says that performing arts, social practices, rituals, all these fields, all these things are contributing to the traditional knowledge, traditional knowledge of a country or a civilization, and it contributes to the intangible heritage, and it helps us to view into the past to understand the cultural landscapes. On the right hand side you can see it is it is a stamp published long back, a 15 naya paisa stamp, you can see, by the Indian Post. It is a view from the Meghdut. It is a picture from the famous Meghdut by Kalidas. So this is how we have been glorifying the traditional knowledge and also our intangible heritage. Music and landscape. India has a rich tradition of music, which is very, very important part of heritage. And you have the folk dance and music like the Ghumar, one can see in the picture. The classical dances like the Bharatnatyam or uh, or the Hindustani classical music. And each art form has got its own regional flavors. Now, what does one learn from music and landscape? I mean, how does one learn from music? What view one gets about landscape from music? That is the question. And that is the whole presentation all about. One goes back to the Natya Shastra by Bharata, where he talks about aesthetics, Indian aesthetics, and Indian classical music is based upon the aesthetics described in the Natya Shastra. It is the nine rasas like the Shringar, Hasya, Karuna, Adbhut, Bibhatsa, Veer, Raudra, Bhayanak, and Shantaras. And all it gets expressed in music. And these rasas or flavors, the artist, he communicates it through specific body body movements in case of a dance. It is the sound and also the compositions which are called as bandishes written for a particular flavor. So this gives a theoretical premise, and I think there is a certain association of all these with architecture as well as landscape. Because if I can recall, it is the famous writer uh, who describes the skin of uh, the eyes of the skin in his book, where he says it is multisensory perception of architecture, and the multisensory perception of architecture comes from various faculties of our body, that is eyes, skin, hearing, and so on. So we perceive landscape from all or architecture from all these faculties, and music and the bandishes is one of the aspect in which this appreciation and perception can happen. There is a time and rag association in Hindustani classical music. It is called as the rag samay chakra. It is hypothesized that certain compositions or ragas are believed to evoke specific mood and feeling. They are associated with specific times of the day or prahar of the day, and also with specific seasons or ritus. Now, empirical evidence may be needed to prove this, but it has been an experience of very senior performers in classical music, and having gone through the literature written by them, one finds that the Rag Samay Chakra is definitely existing and it is appreciated by the people or the audience also. Now, what is a bandish? Bandish is a poetic musical composition because, as we know, music is an abstract, non visual language. It is, you cannot see music, you have to experience it, you have to actually hear it and experience it. And for an effective communication, we need words so that they are communicating a particular rag. So, that composition is called as a bandish. And the poetry of the Bandish has time and space context. I'm going to show some examples today how this time and space context is established from the Bandish. Ragas signify a variety of ideas such as musical concepts, natural phenomena such as monsoon, rains, and multiplicity of Indian cultural manifestations and philosophical and religious beliefs, feelings, and so on. Port Martinez, one of the researchers in this field. Now, this is a theoretical framework which Dr. Reva Nakku happened to use in her PhD dissertation, where she says that the vocal performance of swara, tal, and lay using a bandish, it gives uh, three things when it happens, a performance happens. It is the creation, it is the expression, and it is the communication. Creation in Marathi or Sanskrit we call it Kalavishkar, expression is Rasabhava Utpatti, and communication is Samvad. So when a bandish or a khayal or a rag is performed, all these three things are happening. The artist is creating, the artist is also expressing the rasabhav, and also he's communicating with his audience. And this perception has meaning. So once we hear it, we are making a meaning or making a sense out of it, which has time context, a space context, and a mood context. I've highlighted the word space here because as designers of architecture or landscape, we are primarily dealing with space, which also needs time context and mood context when we experience the space. So the arrows are, connecting all these three. Now we are combining landscape, culture, and music. Hello. Huh? Hello. Landscape, culture, and music. The associations of landscape, culture, and music is analyzed with respect to three aspects: landscape settings, the music associated with those settings, and musical expressions, and landscape settings, events, and cultural phenomena or the music. Going next. Long back, HMV had come out with a series of soundscapes, that is, soundscapes such as the deserts. I think Ustad Zakir Hussain had created the feeling of being in desert using his command over the tabla. Then the mountains by Shiv Kumar Sharma, where the feeling of being in mountains was being, expressed through uh, the Santur by the Panditji. So these kind of experiments and these associations are being explored from the end of musicians also, and also from architects to some extent. Again, I come back to landscapes where we have the six seasons. And here I would like to make a point, particularly to the students, that we should start seeing the landscape and also the seasons from our own framework of six seasons rather than seeing it from uh, three seasons like rains and winter and summer. They are not three seasons, but the Indian division of seasons is sixfold. It has Basant, Grishma, Varsha, Sharad, Hemant, and Shishir. So, to understand our own landscape, we should evolve our own framework for appreciation of seasons and landscape. And we find ragas are associated with these various seasons, and the bandishes which describe these seasons very aptly communicate the flavor of the seasons through it. For example, the Malhar, the monsoon raga. I have just written a bandish over here, Garaja Garaja Ghor Ghor Ghanak Barasayeri, and the whole description of the Malhar or the monsoon season is described in this. So you have the clouds, the lightning, the animals like the frogs, peacock, cuckoo, and so many. Even we get hints or understanding of what kind of vegetation was growing in that period when the bandish was written, because most probably these bandishes, most of them are composed long back, because we know Mia Tansen, he had composed many of the bandishes and we have a legacy from there. So till such time that the Indian landscape was existing in quite an authentic form, very unlike than what we are seeing today, we get hint of Indian landscape or knowledge of Indian landscape during that period from these bandishes. Or the Basanta, for example, Madhukaraja Basanta Vidhai, Khile Khile Neelam Palo par Angan mein Amarai. So, description of the Basanta Ritu and what all gets associated with that season is described in the Bandish. Forest, the orchards, the arrival of Basant, the blooming of flowers, the Angan, which is the frontal open space of house. And one really understands that what kind of an architectural and landscape settings must have been present during that period. We have a series of miniature paintings, the Rajasthani and the Mughal traditions of describing the landscape in a painting, which also gives us a lot of clues about how landscape must have existed in that period. And combining landscape, music, and culture, we have the Ragmala series of paintings. In the Ragmala series, one finds description of a rag presented in a two-dimensional form where people these painters took hints from the description of the rag and depicting it using landscape elements. I'm just again showing two bandishes, the Noon Rag, that is the Sarang, and the Madhukams, which is a night melody. So it all describes, various landscape elements which one finds, like the Bargat tree, that is the Banyan, and how Madhukams describes the night sky and the Sharad Rutu and so on. I'm not going to go into details of it, but there is treasure of these bandishes available in Indian classical music, from where we actually can learn about Indian landscape. And you have the cultural events, the music, and the landscape settings where Hori, Kajri, Savni, so they are very closely associated semi-classical forms of music associated with life events in India. Jhula, for example, is a swing song which is sung while people used to, tie those jhulas to bargat or the peepal tree and they used to swing, or the Chaiti, which is sung during the month of Chaitra, as per the Hindu calendar, first month of Hindu calendar. So our cultural events, music, landscape settings, it is so closely associated that one wants to make a point. Thus, the temporal changes during the day, the diurnal changes, people's association with landscape, the festivals and the activities, the music and the emergent mood, whether it is joy, sadness, romance, or so on. And combining all these four, it is the place which is emerging. It is the context of the place which is emerging. So, place making happens through landscape setting, elements, time, mood, and the people's association. So, it is again place making which is happening through these four. So Indian aesthetic is not only about visual delight but multisensory perception, appreciation of beauty. The audio, the sounds of birds, animals, clouds, rains, the olfactory, the scents of flowers, wet mud, the tactile, the touch of the rains, the breeze as one swings, all contribute to the perception of places in the landscape. The poetry of Bandish captures all these aspects. To conclude, Hindustani classical music is a living heritage of India which, despite modernization, still banks upon the treasure of poetry written in the past. Understanding landscapes as places with context of time and culture is possible by studying musical compositions. And the model of analyzing landscapes as places using musical compositions can be employed in learning landscape architecture. And also, it will help in conserving the landscapes, understanding our own culture, and embeddedness and connectedness through this process of understanding architecture and landscape architecture. These are the references. I conclude my presentation. I once again thank Pravra Rural College of Architecture for inviting me here for the presentation and giving me opportunity for presenting the presenting in the August audience who's hearing this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Abhijit sir, for amongst us, architect Avinash Nawate sir, who is a renowned and reputed sole proprietor, leader, and mentor of the dynamic and creative team ANA, that is Avinash Nawate Architects, with an outstanding experience of over 31 years in shaping the Pune skyline. Right from the childhood, everyone has some or the other kind of dream. Like someone dreams to be a doctor, someone dreams to be an engineer, someone dreams to be an astronaut, and so on. Also, at times, we come up with what we want to be in future, depending upon the environment or the atmosphere we live in. Likewise, Sir inculcated a thought of being an architect by living in that kind of healthy atmosphere where he used to talk about buildings and spaces with his friends right from his school days. Later, giving away to his thoughts, he pursued his first dream of studying bachelor's in architecture from JJ School of Architecture, Mumbai, with first class in the year 1980. To start his career, architect Avinash Nawate sir worked with different architectural firms. Just like a poet expresses his feelings through his magical words, an architect expresses his design in the form of sketch, which depicts everything. And yes, that's how Avinash sir approaches designs, considering architecture not only as a field, but also connecting it with human emotions is what makes him special. After all, interest is developed unless and until something is put forward in an interesting manner. Architect Avinash Nawathe sir contributes to the field of architecture through various activities as a member of Indian Institute of Architecture, Pune chapter, and Architects, Engineers and Surveyors Association, Pune. Other than the professional life, architect Avinash Nawate sir is involved in social activities through Rotary Club of Pune, Model Colony, where he initiated many social activities as the president. He also supported Remand Home as director, where he worked rigorously for social enhancement of the inmates. Architect Avinash Nawate sir is fond of reading, traveling, and playing golf. For him, all these activities are combination of relaxation and exploration. We are very much obliged by the presence of such dynamic and motivated senior architect amongst us, whose words we all are eagerly waiting to listen. I here welcome Architect Avinash Nawate sir to address the gathering.
Thank you, Anush, for your kind words. First of all, I congratulate Pravra Rural College of Architecture for completing their 25 glorious years. I think the college should also take pride in the fact that they have produced so many architects who, in turn, must have created the best answers so far to fight COVID 19, that is, our homes. Friends, during this lecture, I am not going to do PowerPoint presentation with the hope that my points has power in presentation. Students, I'm sure the college will teach you all necessary things required for you to become a good architect. However, the subject of architecture practice is so vast that it is difficult to teach every aspect of it in a college. In my lecture today, I am going to discuss those aspects that will be of a benefit to you in your practice, hopefully. According to me, the points I am going to discuss are not taught in depth in the college curriculum. This results in learning about it by trial and error method while in practicing. That leads, of course, to wasting a lot of our important time resources. To start with, when you start as an architect in your practice, the first thing one realizes is that architect's life is full of contradiction. In single day, he as an architect may have to deal with Vadari on site to even say chief minister of the state. As an architect, he may have to spend time with client explaining him the concept, vision, design experience, four-dimensional experience, so on so forth. And a very next moment, he may have to deal with Mukadam explaining him how to fix flooring patterns. He may be tensed up in the morning about how to meet deadlines of his deliverables. And the evening, he may be worrying about from where his next job is going to come from. At one moment, he may be at his creative best, at the same time, wondering about how to recover fees from the client. Architecture practice is neither that of pure entrepreneur nor it is of an artist. As an architect, you not only have to learn to live with these contradictions, but have to take inspiration from that. Like entrepreneur, you can't rationalize everything. Create an organization, delegate your creativity to them, and move on. That is not possible. Nor you can be a solo player like an artist. For artist, client comes post completion of his project. For architects, he is the one, that is, client is the one who starts ball rolling. The client, of course, is the most important aspect of architecture practice. The practice doesn't exist without a client. And understanding his needs is the key to the successful design. Most of the time, what client gives us as a design brief are physical requirements. What architect has to extract from him is his emotional aspirations. How he wants to express himself through your design is something architect has to understand. The design project given in the colleges most of the time dwell on these physical and tangible requirements of the project. But in real life, understanding the client between the lines is a challenge we as an architect has to face. The next important step towards design development is the concept. Concept is setting up a goal. It's defining the experience you want to give to the occupier. Le Corbusier had once said that design does not start with sketches. Rather, it starts with words. He had further said that describing your concept in proper words is a half battle won. He had given an example that till the man said he wanted to fly like a bird, he imitated bird. But the moment he said he want to design a machine which will fly, his progress towards solution happened fast. So this is the power of putting your concept in a proper word. The importance of concept many times not emphasized in our curriculum as well as even in the practice. However, if you really wish to create a meaningful architecture, you should give deep thoughts about the developing your design on the basis of concept. Most of the young architects, when they are ready to go with a design solution, find their first hurdle in how to fit their creative design solution within framework of bylaws. Most of the times, the in colleges, we don't get well acquainted with the bylaws to the extent that we should be. This results in most of us finding bylaws too technical and compromising our creativity. And people treat it as a hurdle. Here, I would like to tell all of you as a student, don't approach the bylaws as difficulty or hurdle, but as a discipline to work within. Let me elaborate this point by giving you an example. As you know, every game has its own rules, and those rules doesn't make that game uninteresting. Rather, it makes it more interesting because it is applicable to everyone. To further expand this example, suppose in cricket, the rules are same to say me and Sachin Tendulkar, but with those same rules, I may be getting out on the very first ball, and Sachin Tendulkar may end up into scoring a century. So finally, it depends on your skills, talent, and creativity to produce exceptional work within the rules and regulations. Other important aspect that one has to learn and develop is the communication skills. However best design solution you may have, if you are not able to convey that through your communication to your client, the whole design process will go waste. In colleges, occasions like jury presentation, group discussion, and many others are the ones where you get a chance to develop such skills. You must consciously try to take maximum benefit of such occasions. We get well trained with the artistic side of our architectural practice in our colleges. We learn about creativity, understanding of space, expressing our concept through drawings, so long, so forth. However, in practice, your skills as an entrepreneur are put to test. In architecture practice, you can't perform solo like an artist. You can't execute your design on your own. You do need consultants, contractors, suppliers to execute your project. So you need to develop the skills of public relation, team building, organization building to meet these challenges of practice. You as an architect has to develop leadership skills and qualities to build, motivate and inspire your team. For that, one has to think and implement things like system driven working, standardization, disciplined working. In short, all those subjects which normally we think belongs to MBA courses has to be adopted in architectural practice. Friends, there are many more aspects of our practice which even after 40 years I'm still learning. With globalization, advancement in technology, changes in society, situation like this pandemic, all this throw new challenges to us as an architect. In spite of all these challenges, if you are passionate about your profession, then one thing I can promise you, and that is you will never have dull moment in your practice. There will be no monotony. Each and every day will be different. As a concluding statement, let me repeat I said earlier, the life of an architect is neither that of an entrepreneur nor that of an artist. It is full of contradictions, and you, as an architect, must find that circumstances not frustrating, but must look for the opportunities to stimulate your creativity. Thank you. I thank Pravra Rural College of Architecture for giving me this opportunity and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Avinash sir, for your impactful words. Now we have with us Professor Dr. KTV Reddy sir, who is the Director Technical at Pravra Group of Institutions, Pravra Rural Education Society, Pravra Nagar. Sir has done BTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering from SV University and further done MTech PhD in Communication from IIT Bombay. He is having over past 3 decades of teaching, research and administration experience. His systematic approaches towards various things, his administrative skills, his commitment, hard work, and the method of not only inculcating discipline but also implementing it in a professional manner makes him a key member in all the initiatives. Sir has given his valuable contribution in bringing distinct changes in discipline, culture, and commitment in faculties and even improvement in the results. Sir's approach towards academics and maintaining discipline makes him even more unique. No doubt about the fact that implementing discipline in oneself is a bit hard, but making others aware about being disciplined is even harder. And Sir has been successfully combated with this difficulty as well. And he still goes on with the same energy and pace. Sir has always thought of how learning can be made interesting for the students. Believing in practicality, Sir even encouraged many students as well as the faculty of various institutions to arrange workshops so that knowledge will get doubled as well as shared and things will get more clarified. Because of his appreciable hard work and strong commitment, he has received several awards at both national and international levels. Some of them are 4th B.R. Batra Memorial National Award in 2006, Lifetime Education Achievement Award in 2007, Outstanding Teacher Award by International Rotary Club in 2009 and 2011, Best Educationist Award in 2011, Asia Pacific International Award in 2012. So has even served in various committees in Mumbai University and has also been an expert visiting member of AICTE and UGC. He is the youngest president in the history of Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineers since 1953. With such academically strong member leading the way for our institute is a great honor for us. I would now request Professor Dr. KTV Reddy sir to enlighten us with his words.
Yeah. Good morning, Anuj. Your anchoring is very good, excellent. Okay. Yeah. Coming back to our today's guest of honors, starting with the Priti, I think all solutions are available. Whatever she said, 5 questions, right? What, why, who, where, how, and all, right? So that is what to be questioned for each and every instant of time without any disappointment. And Vinith mentioned about beyond what is the scope, because it is not like limited architecture limited, like multidisciplinary approach, which is going to bring more awesome to the architecture. Then uh, Abhijit, he mentioned about landscape, culture, and music, how it will play in architecture. And finally, Avinash sir mentioned about skills, especially technical skills, but also communication skills, and how multidisciplinary approach will matter for all of you. So it is well begin. So always we say well begin is full done. Okay. My appreciation to our team of Rajaswari and others who are part of this, busy with last more than 2 weeks, uh, planning minutely and coming out how we can give the benefit to our students as well as faculty. So I'm sure that at least uh, something started flowing. Okay, so students and faculty together, as we decided in all the other colleges, you must think of a instead of having the uh, broad type of topics, come back to narrow topic where you can become excel, then go on adding to that. I'm sure each architect has their own way of doing things. Okay, so wherever you are best, especially our team need to think of what are the best you find even in students. We want you to involve them and make them say like uh, practice makes everyone perfect. Not only practice make women perfect, practice makes everyone perfect. So just mentioned about by Avinash ji, saying that the people are not aware of the bylaws, people are not aware of practices, or what architects supposed to do it. So I think we need to. That is also very important topic where it to be deliberated and people should know whatever discussions happens during those discussions can be remembered. Okay, so I think it is a good start. Okay, it is not just start and leave, and it should continue. And as for our policy, it's supposed to have at least 4 hours, 2 hours per week, and our alternate weeks 4 hours are minimum. Each discussion panel to be discussed with. I thought I started with the faculty, but if faculty can involve the students also, it is going to be benefited. So with this, we are with always my team, and you do wonders. Okay, so get self-satisfied first what you are doing it, continue good things, and let the benefit to be the society and especially our students. I wish all the best and good luck for future programs. On the occasion of Silver Jubilee, especially brainstorming. the word called as Manthan. Manthan should continue. Along with Manthan, other activities also should go. We should continue be the best in the rural areas. Not only rural now, we can go beyond. Thank you very much.
And now I would like to introduce Ms. Sushmita Vike Patil ma'am, the most dynamic, motivated, and young leader who is currently a Chief Executive Officer at Pravara Rural Education Society, Pravaranagar. Being a youth inspiration as well as the future face of Pravara Rural Education Society, ma'am takes into consideration some of her professional goals of bringing years of professional experience to facilitate operations, maximize both revenue and productivity, and ensure a strong future growth. Being amongst the youth, she took the initiative of upbringing various educational ventures, which will surely prove to be profitable for all the students for a better future. Since 2008, ma'am has been a director at Hindustan Aeronautics Limited at the Pravara Aviation Institute, Nashik. She is involved as a trustee at Dr. Vittalrao Vikhe Patil Foundation at Viradghat, Ahmednagar. Adding to it, ma'am also worked as an executive assistant to Director General of Pravara Rural Education Society since August 2019. Sushmita Madam successfully completed her BA Honours in Hotel Management from Institute of Hotel Management in Aurangabad in the year 2006, thus securing first class grades. Later, she completed with MBA, HRM and FBA from Institute of Business Management and Rural Development at Viradghat, Ahmednagar. And now currently, ma'am is pursuing her PhD in HR challenges in institutions run by political families with specific reference to educational institutions belonging to the Pravara Rural Education Society, Ahmednagar. Her highly enthusiastic nature made her to complete her commercial pilot training in the year 2007 and held a license from DGCA, New Delhi. Strongly emphasizing on the current pandemic situation, she even attended the national level webinar on COVID 19 and its impact on Indian economy, which has organized by Pyrin's Institute of Business Management and Administration, thus depicting the fact of utilizing the confront opportunities and converting them into a successful platform to put forward one's ideas and suggestions. Her active participation in various events and webinars truly inspires the youth of Pravara Rural Education Society to rise up and shine. Currently, ma'am is unable to address as she is not well. So now, hereby, I request Architect Kapil Burade sir to please deliver a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Anuj. Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable dignitaries, respected guests, colleagues, all students and architect fellows. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of Pravara Rural College of Architecture and the entire teaching, non-teaching staff, all students, and on my own behalf, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all speakers, guests, and those who have directly, indirectly contributed to make this event successful. At first, a big thank you to CEO of Pravara Rural Education Society, Ms. Sushmita Tai Vikhe Patil, for her valuable time and motivation to conduct events beyond institute level. I am also very grateful to respected Secretary of PRES, Mr. Bharat Ghogre sir, for support and suggestions at every point. And we also would like to acknowledge our gratitude to our technical director, Dr. KTV Reddy sir, for his valuable feedback and experienced comments. Now I would like to express my gratitude to all speakers. Without them, it wouldn't have been possible to conduct this event. I may like to express our sincere thanks to architect Preeti Agarwal ma'am for giving an excellent coverage to design process. I also wish to express my gratitude to architect Vineet Birikar sir for providing encouragement towards sensibility after architecture. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Dr. Abhijit Nathu sir for his explanation on relation between Hindustani music and landscape. Further, we are grateful to architect Avinash Nawati sir for demonstrating the challenges and opportunities in architectural practice. We are all truly inspired by your great words. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to our beloved principal, architect Rajeshwari Jagtap, for her idea of this event and constant efforts towards it. I also extend my thanks to architect Praveen Zamdade for hosting the event technically. Also, I thank fourth year student Rutuja Vaksaure for singing Ganesh Vandana and National Anthem. I thank second year student Anuj Rabade for anchoring the program. After that, I thank Dimple Patel, Ishwari Tirekar, Pranjal Karnawat, Deshna Kale, Mukul Garte, and Sonal Tanpure to make a wonderful video. I thank IT department of PRES for providing the technical support. Also, I thank all colleagues for their support and teamwork. And last but not the least, I thank all admin and housekeeping staff for their enormous cooperation in organizing this event. Well, ladies and gentlemen, an event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling weeks ago. It requires planning and a bird's eye for details. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues of Praura Rural College of Architecture who know their job and are result oriented. I cannot thank everyone enough for their involvement and willingness to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zone. Dear all, once again, I want to state that we are all most grateful to all speakers of this event. We thank you for being with us. It's been a great pleasure. Thank you very much.